So a couple of weeks ago, I did a video talking about AAA exclusives on the platforms, and I was talking about the lack of AAA exclusives on the PlayStation 4. This has been something that I've brought up from time to time. I've been mentioning it since the release of the console itself. I just felt that Sony has dropped the ball when it comes to delivering AAA games. And this is one thing that Sony fanboys always get enraged at. They hate it whenever I say it. They don't believe it. But if you're not going to believe me, you don't want to hear me talk about it, what about Sony's own executives, which are saying the exact same thing? So Sony's Yoshida just made a statement just the other day that Sony still has work to do when it comes to AAA exclusives on the PS4. No, those hundreds of indie titles that you list every time as an exclusive is not a AAA game. And if those are your standards for AAA, those are not the standards that I want to play by, because I expect a little bit more. And if you listen to his full statement, he almost sounds as if he's saying that they haven't really felt the pressure to deliver AAA games because they're selling so many consoles and people are happy with the third-party games and the third-party support from indie developers. Now, anybody who's been following my channel for a while, this should come as no surprise. I mean, let's look at the list of quotes from Sony. This isn't me saying this. This is Sony executives. Yoshida back in 2014 said, quote, "We've been saying that the number of AAAs might be getting smaller because the cost of development for AAAs is getting higher. But there are so many indie games and great games coming out almost every week or every other week. We're seeing it on the PS4, and I hope you're seeing it as well." Andrew House, 2015, "We are working very hard to continue very strong support from third-party publishers and developers. Our first-party lineup is a little sparse this year, so I think this places an even greater emphasis on getting good third-party support." And then just the other day in a Eurogamer interview, Yoshida said the following, quote, "I'm very proud of the games we are releasing. We're not releasing new AAA titles this Christmas like you say and like some critics say, but we're releasing smaller creative games this year, like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, or we're getting on the Tomorrow's Children, and many smaller but interesting titles that can be complementary when looking at the lineup of PS4 games." He also states, quote, "People wouldn't just look at the first-party lineup when they're making a purchase decision. We have great third-party titles coming this year. Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Battlefront, Destiny just came out, and Metal Gear just came out. There's no shortage of huge titles available to players on the PlayStation 4. Typically, it's ironic in a sense, when a platform's doing really well, studio side kind of struggles. It probably has some relation to these two things. When a platform's doing well, third parties support it more. So from a pure software standpoint, there'll be more competition. When the platform's not doing so well, our games become more prominent and we get larger market share within the same platform. We're happy with how it's going, and we're excited about welcoming PlayStation VR. From a delivering game standpoint, we have work to do. People constantly ask us for the big exclusive AAA games. So I've been saying from the launch of this system that I felt Sony has dropped the ball when it comes to delivering quality AAA games. And for all the fanboys who get pissy with me when I say it, if you're going to call me a hater for stating the truth, what does that make Yoshida and Andrew House? Sony's own leadership is telling you that they haven't delivered. And the reason Yoshida says people constantly ask us for big AAA exclusives, the reason he says that they have work to do is because they have work to do, because they haven't delivered. And so I have no idea why so many people are in denial about that. And it's like the other day whenever I was talking about AAA exclusives, again, fanboys want to post list wars, they want to claim more exclusives, knowing full well that even the games that they like to list, most of those games they're not interested in, they're not buying, and they're not playing. Knowing that the vast majority of those are not quality AAA experiences. And again, I'm more interested in quality over quantity. And if you're happy with mediocrity, if you're satisfied with Sony sitting on their hands and letting third parties take over like they've allowed to happen on the Vita, and you're just happy to be a cheerleader on the side for the sales department, then that's your prerogative. But the reason I bring it up isn't to hate on Sony every time. It's because I'm an owner of a system that I've been disappointed with the AAA games that Sony has released. And I want to have more reasons to turn on this system. Because for right now, it just sits there most of the time. And I expect better. I didn't pay $400 for it to sit there most of the time. And I have yet to really find a Sony exclusive that's made me want to dump countless hours into it. Most of the exclusives I've actually played have been rentals that I've been able to beat in 2 or 3 days, and then that's it. So Yoshida said that their biggest exclusive this fall is the Uncharted collection, which they've removed content. There's no multiplayer in it, so it's actually less content than what you got on the PS3. But it says something, I think, when your biggest exclusive for the fall, for the holiday season, is a collection from PS3. Their last masterpiece was Bloodborne in March, and their next major exclusive isn't until March of next year with Uncharted 4. And I'm sorry that I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and just roll over to praise Sony every time that they post up sales numbers. I want and expect better. And if you're going to get pissy with me about saying Sony doesn't have many AAA exclusives, then it's time to get pissy with Sony executives who are saying the same damn thing.
Are you listening? Damn.